Hi everyone. I figured I would do a video announcement this week just to one, mix it up, and two, for people who learn better with me talking straight to them than reading a list of to-dos. First off, I do want to say happy break. We are officially on spring break, but I did want to let you know that I am posting week 11, meaning the week that begins next Sunday night, that I'm posting that a week early for anyone who wants to get a little ahead on the readings, on the assignments, on the discussion boards. I understand that, a lot of us are working and have children and have all these other things going on. So I want to make sure that you have as much time as possible to address those things. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what what week 11 is going to look like, but also I want to show you, because there have been some comments, there's been some confusion about sort of what is expected, and for all of us, right, this remote learning is a learning curve. And so I want to address those things because I want to make sure that, again, we are all on exactly the same page. And I mean every single person in the class, not just the people who come to the Zoom meetings, not just the people who email me, not just the people who, follow along, but everybody, that we're all on the same page. So I'm going to show you a few things because I want to make sure that we are all on the same exact page as far as what is expected, what to do, etc. Okay, and what this kind of remote learning means. So I'm going to move it to a share screen. You should still be able to see my little face in the corner or something, but I want to show you, first off, our Canvas page, so that, again, you can understand exactly why it's set up the way that it is, what I'm doing, and why I chose to create the Canvas page in this way, so that it best helps you navigate these final, what are going to be the final 7 weeks of the course, right? So I'm going to put it on a share screen here, and then I'll go to our Canvas page. So you should see the announcements page. When you are watching this video, you'll see a new one, which is this announcement that this video is found in, that this link is found in. So, you'll notice that, but clearly I can't, jump ahead in time. I'm not Marty McFly, so that's not there yet, at least on my end. But when you're watching it, you'll see one more announcement here that'll say, happy break in week 11. So I want to go to our homepage because I want to show you, again, exactly what is involved in every week, why it's there, and what it all looks like, right? So if we scroll all the way down, when we come back on Monday the 13th, you will see the following. And again, if you want to start it early, it's up to you. I'm not telling you to start it early because I hope you enjoy your break, but for the early birds, here you go. You'll see week 11 here on our home page, or if you have your phone, you'll click on the modules, click on the module for week 11, because that'll have everything that you need to do for the following week. The first one is the reading by Rawoot, District 6 fails to rise from the ashes of apartheid. It'll pull up, right? You'll see it here. You can also click on it to open it in a new window. If you do not see this, or if when you click on this, it does not open in a new window, please let me know as soon as possible. So far, I haven't heard any complaints. Everyone's been able to access the readings just fine. But, it's technology. Technology is bound to have glitches, so always keep that in mind. We go back to our class page, scrolling down all the way down to week 11. The next one you'll see is the Black Sash article, District 6, apartheid wins, the nation loses, and that should pull up this article. I will be talking about this article and the Kahoot article briefly in my web teach, which I will show you in a moment. But these are the two readings for you to have read before you engage in the next parts of the week. So you do the two readings first. Again, we gotta scroll all the way down to week 11. Okay. Actually, let me do this really quickly so that I can just minimize these and it'll save us some time. There we go. Unit 4. Ignore Unit 3 because, again, everything you'll need is right here in week 11. Okay, so then the next thing you'll see is the PowerPoint. What you should start to be noticing is that I put everything you need to do in exactly the order that it should be done, because you can't read the PowerPoint unless you've looked at the readings, because you won't understand it, right? So read the readings first, then go through the PowerPoint on District 6 and Kahoot. It is imperative that you go through the PowerPoint because there are 3 videos in this PowerPoint which you will need to know for the midterm. The first one is here. Again, I can't click on them because the overlords at YouTube make it so that I can't show you videos on my Zoom meeting video, but they are working in the PowerPoint. So there are 3 videos plus all the notes. And again, this is stuff that is going to be on the midterm, so you need to have read it. Nothing I put in this Canvas page is superfluous. Nothing extraneous. It's all necessary. So I'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so we go back down to week 11. The next one is my web teach. Now here's something I want to show you. If you click on the link to my web teach, and it's those of you who've been in Zoom before, you've heard this. It's Katieception, because you got me here, you got me there. Hi everyone. Ooh, hello. It's literally me from a half hour ago when I was recording that video, or an hour ago about. Why am I showing this to you? Well, because what I'm noticing on my account for my web teaches is, between 2 classes of roughly 50 people, I'm getting about 15 views a week. And that's a problem because that means that not everyone is watching the web teaches. And that's a problem because students are emailing me with questions that are specifically addressed in these web teaches. And students are emailing me with specific requests for things like a lesson plan or a lecture. And these are the closest approximations I can make to that, right? I can't see you guys in person. They'll probably throw me in jail at this point if I do that. So this is the closest that we have to taking what we learn in the PowerPoints, what we learn in the readings, and sorry, I'm doing this on my knees, and weaving those 2 things together, right? So if you are not watching the web teaches, again, most of them 15 to 20 minutes, 25 at the most, way shorter than a class period, in other words. If you're not watching them and you're having those kinds of questions and you're having those kinds of issues, start watching the web teaches, because they're going to demystify the readings for you. If reading the readings is, not enough to clarify them, if you're still unclear, confused, challenged by what's going on in the readings, that's because they're difficult readings. And I create these things to ensure, right, that you can access, understand, be able to absorb the information as much as possible. All right, so that is the web teach. Let me go back to our Canvas page. So again, you do the readings, you look at the PowerPoint, you get the web teach. It's starting to sound like exactly what we used to do in class, right? So the T4 is naturally, right, the thing that you would do next, the talking to the text. You've done the readings, right? You've digested some of the information, and you can even do the T4 right after the readings, right? but sometimes getting that additional support helps. So you do the T4, again, 2 questions, summary, analysis, post it as a reply. You have all the information of how to do it in front of you. I even put the links to the articles in a second place, which is right in here, right embedded in that T4 assignment. So I try to make it as accessible, as helpful as possible. So we've done the readings, we've done the T4, we've looked at the PowerPoint. Professor King has given the closest approximation to a lecture that she can. Then the next step, just like we would in class, is the discussion board, right? But because of COVID-19, we can't talk to each other face to face, right? There's physical distancing and all that stuff. So this discussion board that you're seeing is meant to mimic the discussions that we have in class. That's why you have to respond to somebody else's post. And I give you specific prompts for the discussion board. So these go beyond what you talk about in the T4. The T4 is you disseminating the information and kind of getting a rough idea, right? And some rough analysis. Then the discussion board focuses that in a much finer way, right? A sharper focus that I'm intentionally creating for these readings because, again, midterm, right? I give you the discussion board post. It has the prompt, the instructions on what to do, and again, the links to the readings. So I try to make it as easy for you as possible. So again, that's going to mimic the class discussion that we have. That's your sort of riffing on your, elaborating on the ideas that you share in your talking to the text, thinking about what's in the PowerPoint and really going, continuing to move in this direction of really refining your ideas and making them specific to what I'm asking here in these prompts. All right, then the next thing we have is our midterm study guide. Our midterm isn't until week 12, so it's actually not even going to be due until the end of the week after we come back, April 26th. I have you, and you can read this over yourself. I'm not going to belabor any points because I want to save all of us as much time as possible. But we have the readings here. We have the writing skills ideas that we've been talking about all semester that you need to apply to your understanding of these readings. We have the different chapters we've read and the content of the Norton textbook that we've looked at that will be required skills to apply in your midterm essay. And then we have the nuts and bolts, right? The midterm is going to be on Canvas. I'm going to post it at the beginning of week 12. It's going to be 5 short answer, 1 full-length essay. What does full-length essay mean? Introduction, body, conclusion, right? So there's not necessarily a page requirement or a paragraph requirement, but you need to follow all of the steps in the writing process. You need to come up with ideas. You need to organize those ideas. You need to make sure you have an argument. You need to make your ideas flow. You need to make sure you are providing claims, evidence, and analysis in your body paragraphs that support the thesis that you have in your introduction. You need to have a conclusion that wraps up and leaves a lasting impression. And you need to give yourself time to revise, edit, proofread, clarify, all of those things, right? Just like we would do in any other essay, except this one's timed and it's on Canvas. It's going to be due the 26th at 11:59. Again, you'll see it under week 12. We're not in week 12 yet, so that's why you don't see it yet. It's going to be 2 hours and 5 minutes unless you are registered with DSS and are legally allowed the accommodations for time. If you are registered with DSS and you would like to utilize those accommodations, please contact me or I will be contacting you shortly. You need access to our class Canvas page. Those of you who follow me on Instagram saw the post I made about the 60 days free of Spectrum Wi-Fi for students. So if you're gonna, if there are any issues, I would say look into that. I already mentioned the format, 1 full-length essay, 5 short answer responses. It is an in-class midterm, so I'm not giving you those questions early. They will be administered at the beginning of week 12. Clearly, right, it's going to be open book, open note, because you're going to be doing this from home. But don't rest on your laurels. Don't rely on on just you know, having those all out, because 2 hours and 5 minutes goes by like that when you're writing an in-class essay and 5 short answer responses. So plan, prepare, read, be ready before you do this midterm. Make sure you watch the film. That is considered one of the texts, so you have to have had watched that. There is no ability for makeup for this, so make sure it's done by 11:59 on the Sunday of the week it's due, which is April 26th. All right, so that's the study guide. You do have a midterm practice test that's on Kahoot, so you can practice, play a fun little Kahoot game. You just go in here. If you have any problems, the pin that you enter in is right up here. So if you have any problems, you can just go to kahoot.it, that's kahoot.it, enter in this pin, and you can play either way. You enter in your little nickname, please make it appropriate, right? Nothing gross. Click OK, go, and then you can play the practice quiz. It's not graded. It's, you know, entirely for you to make sure that you are ready for the midterm. So check it out. And it's correct this time. I know, you know, I sent that message. I accidentally copied the message for my 103 class to all my classes, unfortunately, and some of you caught it, and some of you were like, oh, I took a 103 midterm quiz. You did. So if you end up taking my 103 class, you're ahead of the game. Anyway, all right. And then the final thing is the Hail Mary. So the Hail Mary assignment is that makeup assignment for any major out of class essay. When you click on that and pull it up, what it will show you is what it is, when it's due, what you can hope to gain from it if you decide to do it, because it is optional, right? You can make up any major out of class writing assignment up until when the Hail Mary is due for up to 90% of what that point value is. So let's say you want to redo essay 2, it's worth 15%. The highest grade you could possibly earn on it doing the Hail Mary is a 13.5. But let's say you didn't hand in essay 2 at all. 13.5 is better than 0, right? Doesn't count for the midterm, doesn't count for talking to the text, doesn't count for in-class writing assignments. Refer to your extra credit for that. And there will be more extra credit opportunities when we come back from break, so keep that in mind. When you submit it under assignments and then Hail Mary, because I still have to check for authenticity. Even if you're redoing essay 2 or you're redoing essay 1, and you're redoing a lot of, you know, the essay that you already wrote for a better grade, that's fine. Just resubmit that polished, revised, etc. to the Hail Mary assignment. All right. So, where'd you go? Where am I going? What's going on with my life? Okay, here we go. So again, the thing that I really want to drive home is if you look at our week, right? Just look at it. Just look at what's going on here, right? I'm trying to mimic the flow, the rhythm of the class as much as possible. And so in doing that, this is technically not an online class, right? This is a remote learning environment as a result of COVID-19. And so I know there's certain students who've taken online classes and they think like, oh, I can, you know, do the assignment on Sunday at, you know, 7:45, it'll take me an hour and I'll be done. That is not this class. This class is meant to mimic exactly what we were doing before March 12th. And so what that means is 4 hours and 10 minutes a week of instruction, right? Because that's how often that's how much instruction we were getting every week, 2 2-hour and 5-minute classes. So that's 4 hours and 10 minutes Plus, if you recall, for every unit you're taking, that's 2 hours of study outside of the instruction. So that's an additional 8 hours, right? So that's 12 hours a week you should be devoting to this. 12 hours a week, okay? Do I personally think that the reading, the PowerPoint, the discussion board, the T4, and then the assignments take that long? No. But again, if you're waiting until Sunday to do everything as kind of a quick one-off and, you know, ta-da-da, it's not going to work very well, right? You don't want to spend your Sundays lumping all of your work from this class and all of your classes into your Sunday. Because again, I am making this format, I'm making it as close to what we did, in our face-to-face class as possible. And for some of you, that's working very, very well, right? That kind of transition, it has been smooth. For others, there is a little bit of struggle. And so I want to address that struggle because I want to make sure that all of this makes sense, right? That what we're doing week by week makes sense, that it's clear, that you understand that we're not doing anything differently than we would have done in our class, right? That this doesn't automatically become some online class that you can just write a quick response to each Sunday, but that you have to kind of chip away at this stuff, just like we did before March 12th, right? And I think the more you manage your time well, the more you keep that schedule where you incrementalize the work and don't try to do it all at once, the better it's going to be for you, the more clearly you'll understand these very challenging and difficult concepts, the better your writing will be. And that's what I hope for all of us, because I need to get you to the next level, regardless of the global pandemic that's going on, regardless of anything else. My job is to make sure you are college-ready writers. And I'm trying to do my job the best that I can, given these circumstances. And so again, if you have questions about these things, your best bet is to review them early on in the week. And then come to my office hours on Zoom. Come to the class meeting on Zoom. If those times don't work for you, make an outside appointment with me. Email me before Sunday afternoon, because there's only so much I can do to help you, in the 11th hour. And I want to make sure that we're clear that we are still in my English 100 class with all that it has going on, right? Which is a significant amount of work, which is a schedule that should be chipped away at incrementally, which is very challenging subject matter and writing expectations, because we are in a college writing level. So please keep all of that in mind. The last thing you'll want to look at, right, is, and I'm sure if you have the app on your phone, this automatically buzzes you, but always check the announcements latest, I would say Monday morning, because every Sunday I'm gonna get the week going. So this is the announcement for this week. This will be found here, and again, it'll say happy spring break and week 11 for the early birds, which clearly you know that because you're watching the video now. But check those announcements, because those are going to give you an overview, a rundown of exactly what we're doing during the week. And in this announcement for this week, what you'll see right next to this video, either right above it or right below it, is all of the IDs you need. You'll see my office hours URL, the link to my office hours on Monday and Tuesday. You'll see the URL to our class our class Zoom meeting, if you still need that. You'll see the URL to my YouTube page with the web teaches on it, if you need that. So again, I'm trying to give you as much space as you can to get this stuff done. All right, I have 2 more announcements and then I swear I'm done. The first announcement is, remember to get the book Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I mentioned it last week in the announcements. Get it. Start it early, because this last month and a half that we have is gonna fly by. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it will. Get the book, start reading it early, get as much of it read as you can. You'll be amazed at how quickly this last month and a half goes by. So Get Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. It's in the syllabus. It's a white book with blue writing on the cover. It's like Rochelle said, it's like $8 or $9 or something. It's probably even cheaper. You can probably find it online. That's second to last announcement. My very last announcement is this. I know we are on break. I know that we want nothing more than to take a break right now and to you know, sort of take a step back and evaluate our lives, right? But for those of you who have been struggling, who are finding time management difficult, who are having other issues going on outside of COVID-19 and switching to remote learning and all of that, I have a couple of things I want to say. The first is you can use this time to make up whatever you haven't done. And that goes for everyone in the class. If you have assignments that are missing, even if they happen before March 12th, use this time to get them done. I will still accept them. So please, please take that seriously, especially now that you have a week off. Also, there are going to be announcements coming out from the college about things like excused withdrawals, regular withdrawals, incomplete grade assignments, and pass, no pass potentially for certain classes. I can't give any more information than that, so please be aware of your Fullerton College email and announcements. Once I get more information, I will share it with you. But keep those sorts of things in mind. And if you aren't clear on what an excused withdrawal is, or an incomplete, or a withdrawal, my advice to you would be to look at the admissions page, admissions and records, look at the college catalog. In the search bar, look up those terms and see if some of that stuff applies to you potentially. But what I really would recommend that you do is use this week and this time to get caught up in whatever way you can, because I'm willing to be flexible with late work. So keep all that in mind. I want you to succeed. I want you to do your best. I'm trying to keep this as close to the classes we had as before so that it doesn't feel weird or off for the majority of us. Contact me if you have questions, concerns, or issues. I'm still checking my email regularly over the break, so keep that in mind. I hope you all have a wonderful break. If you want to get started on this stuff early, go for it. If not, just watch this a week from now. Well, you already watched the whole thing, so. But yeah, again, enjoy your break and reach out, please, if you need help. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.